Hey everybody, it's Mark, DoctorDeadwax, and it's time to answer a 300 subs contest for Zeek, the music geek. I was watching somebody's videos, working my way through a backlog of their stuff, and I realized when I came across their response to his 300 subs thread that I hadn't done a response to his 300 subs thread. Sorry, man. So here it is. 300 subs, all the usual stuff, totally well deserved. Great videos, tons of records. Pretty soon you're going to need a couple storage units at the rate here. I have the monstrous inboxes we're discovering in my current series, but holy shit, man, you buy records like I do, man. You've been doing videos for what, about 11 months now, and wow, I think you've shown 2,000 records. So that's totally fucking awesome. So what you want to know is, apparently you want to know what records I'm gonna sell you from my collection. None. From my cold dead hands. But seriously, as you know, I'm doing this inbox challenge thing where I'm trying to get through a backlog of 2,000 records, and they were in here. I had to take them out of this room. This room is lined with hot water rads that go the whole way around the room, and so I can pack this room through a room full of vinyl in the summer, but in the winter, once the rads have to go on, it has to go out of here except for one wall over here that doesn't have it. So as you can see today, all the vinyl has left us. The vinyl has left the building. So in the process of doing this inbox challenge, I've been, when people give me numbers and I've been going through the box and I've been pulling records, I've been looking at what's in them, and I've been, after I pull their numbers, I've been flipping through them and just culling boxes as I'm going along. And I've probably pulled 3 milk crates, about 250 records out so far of stuff that I'm not even going to clean, and I'm just going to get rid of. And what that consists mainly of is they're mostly records that, not records that I bought, but records that I've found boxes of free records, or people have offered boxes of free records on like our Craigslist here, and I've gone and I picked them up and I've taken what I wanted and then donated the rest to charity. Or friends give you records or stuff like that. And when I've been going through the records, I've been taking things that kind of catch my eye, but they're not necessarily, they're records I would listen, that I've taken because, yes, I would listen to them if the world was ending and no more vinyl could be produced and I was stuck on a desert island for the rest of my life. I would eventually get around to these records. But I actually don't, now that I'm sitting and I've got, 15, let's say I've dumped 250 of the 2,000, so let's say I've got 1,500 that I've got to clean and listen to by the time I get through maybe dumping the rest. Maybe I got another 250 out. There's things that I'm never going to need, and they're things that kind of interest me. Like I like the old standards. So like some show tune records, but I got rid of those, and I like the popular singers from the 50s and 60s that did standards, like Frank Sinatra and stuff. So I've kept the Sinatra, but there are others that I had by different people, Shirley Bassey, Harry Belafonte, stuff like that. I've dumped most of those. I've kept a couple that are considered standout classics of those. I've dumped all of the swing, ragtime, big band, Dixieland jazz, all of that kind of 30s to 50s, you know, kind of anything pre-bop has kind of gone the way out. All the classical, you know, I've always grabbed every Angel, Deutsche Grammophon, London Bluebacks, Living Stereos, Shaded Dogs, anything. There's a Hungarian label I've been grabbing. There's anytime I see those, you know, in free boxes or that are kind of cheap, I've been grabbing those. So all of that's going to go. And then some of the things that I've grabbed that were kind of popular music, but I don't really need them, or maybe they're like a 30th copy. Like, you know, I found like 5 copies of Billy Joel's The Stranger, but I have my copy of The Stranger that I bought when it came out, and I was like 8 or 9 or 10 years old. So there's no way I need more than one extra copy. That one's a little rough. There's no way I need more than one extra copy, but that record means something to me, so I will keep that. But do I, you know, I don't need Billy Joel's Glass Houses, I don't need Billy Joel's Street Life Serenade, and I don't, you know, those records aren't, I don't think they're that great. So, you know, that kind of stuff's going, and kind of anything that I'm finding that I've taken because it was free and it had a potential to be interesting, you know, Hall & Oates records that, you know, are near mint perfect, so I kept them, but I was probably never going to listen to them, and, you know, the only thing I want is Abandoned Luncheonette, and I have a 1A of that. So everything else of that kind of stuff, so stuff like that is going to go. And then all the heavy metal that I've just been picking it up, but that's all going to go out. So just all that kind of stuff, it's all just gonna, that stuff's all gonna go. And I'm gonna go through my personal collection here, and I'm gonna cull out some of the rock stuff that I'm never gonna listen to again. I don't listen to radio very much. We only listen to it in the car, and we only listen to like classical. It's funny, in the car, actually, I'm growing to love classical music when I'm driving, but I don't. When I'm at home, I want to listen to jazz, and I want to listen to prog, and I want to listen to rock. But you know, the Who, it's all going. All of the Deep Purple is going. I'm gonna listen to it all, and then I'm gonna get rid of it. I haven't, you know, I got tons of Deep Purple and stuff I've never listened to. I'm gonna listen to it all once, and I'm gonna get rid of it. The standard classical rock things that I just love, the couple Zeppelin albums that I just adore, those are going to stay. Floyd, that's going to stay. Things that are kind of important to me, that were important to me when I was young, that are like milestone records or stuff like that, those are still going to stay. So, but the classical and the early jazz and the kind of B, C, and D list stuff that I don't listen to, I'm going to keep the B, C, and D list stuff that I do listen to. You know, and what else could go? I mean, if more stuff had to go that isn't on that, I could get rid of most of the classic rock. I could probably pare myself down to like 150 or 200 classic rock albums. Most of the new wave, post-punk stuff that I grew up with could go. I find I don't go back to that very often. I kind of go back to the Waterboys, and I go back to the English Beat, and I go back to New Order. But I don't go back to Flock of Seagulls or Thompson Twins or Culture Club or any of that kind of other stuff. And I have Gang of Four records, and I never listen to those. And so, you know, a lot of that stuff could go. What couldn't go? Jazz. Everything else could go but the jazz if I had to pick one thing. And if I had to pick one jazz thing, everything could go but the Blue Notes. If I had to even whittle down the jazz. However, Lately I'm really getting big on fusion. Not the shitty later fusion, but the really kind of good earlier fusion. So right now it would be hard bop, post bop, modal, but definitely fusion's working its way into the stuff that would stay. And just a few seminal classic rock and a few. I'm keeping a couple classical pieces. I'm keeping some of the modern avant classical like Steve Reich. That stuff's staying for certain. And I'm gonna keep a couple of the planets. I got a ton of the planets. So many that I've never even listened to. And I'm gonna keep a couple Firebird Suite. I kind of love Firebird Suite because that's what Yes opens their shows with. So then I'm going to keep like my Scheherazade living stereo because that's worth a fortune. And it's funny, I actually listen to that one sometimes. Maybe it's just because it's rated so highly. So that's what I keep. I keep the jazz and I ditch everything else, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, I have a large record collection. I've never had a record collection that I've had solely for the numbers. I could get by with a couple hundred records if I had to. I don't need to have, 25,000 things behind me. I like to dig for records probably more than I like to own them. I love to go crate digging, and I love to shop for them. I love to buy records for other people when I know what they're looking for. I love to just kind of, that's kind of expands the ideas I have for Deadwax. Every time I look at another pressing of a record I've looked at 100 times, I can learn something more about, this is the 27th different Deadwax variation I've seen on a, say, Zeppelin record. I kind of put in my head its kind of entire evolution of Led Zeppelin 2's pressings in North America that way. And so I, it's more about, the music's so much, the records are so much more about the journey. I don't read on the internet about the top 100 records I'm supposed to listen to and then search them out and buy them. And I don't sample music. I mean, I've told you this before when we've talked on Skype. If I'm in a record store and they have a turntable and I'm thinking about buying a record, I won't ever put it on the turntable. I'll make a decision about whether or not I'm going to buy it or not, and I'll listen to it when I get it home. So that's kind of what that's about for me. It's, buying records is more about the journey. It's about discovering new music that I've never heard. If I'm working off some sort of master list of that intelligentsia has put together that says I have to listen to, I wouldn't have heard half of the music that I have that I would keep that is actually really important to me. Anyway, sorry to babble on. Jeez, 14 minutes. Zach, man, love you like a brother. Skype with you later. Have a great day. Keep the records going.